Hello and welcome to the Knitting Samurai Plus One video podcast. This is episode 60, Jackaroo 2! And I'm your host Steph, also known as the Knitting Samurai. You can get into contact with me over on Rab. I love to hear from you guys. And thank you so much for the comments and the star ratings over on iTunes. It really helps push podcasts to the top when you do that for me or any of your other podcasts that you watch/listen to. So thank you very much. Let's get right into the knitting talk. I'm so excited to talk to you about the Jackaroo. So this is the sweater I'm knitting. It is by Amy Herzog. I have a lot of notes in front of me today, and I find that I do a better job when I don't have notes and just talk off the cuff, because I'm going to spend the show doing this to you guys, and you're not going to like that, right? So I'll try not to look down at my notes, but there's so much to talk about. I'm so excited to talk about this. Okay, so last time we chatted. Well, first, let me just say, I cast this on July 4th, and I already have, I know they're red, it's going to be so hard to see, and Linus is inbound. 2 sleeves! 2 finished sleeves! I know, are you excited? I can hardly believe it. So here is one of them. So there have been a lot of mods to this pattern. Linus, make a decision. In, out, up, down. Okay, so I did, I know, this is the perfect way to display my sleeves to you. I did, to cast on. So excited to do this after watching the Knit to Flatter class. So I cast on and immediately started working my sleeves. I did not swatch. I wanted to, I don't like to waste time. I get excited. And I definitely don't like to wash and see how the drape of my fabric will be. Way more planning than I'm used to doing. So I decided to work the sleeves, and I need to keep my elbows off the table so I don't shake you. I decided to work the sleeves and measure my gauge as I go. So I cast on. I immediately lengthened the sleeves, so instead of the 3/4 length that's in the pattern, these are full length. Yeah, and then I went through the schematic and the highlighted for my size, everything, and decided that the armhole circumference wasn't the right size for the size I need to knit for my shoulders is not the size for my armholes. I don't know, I guess I have meaty arms. But they're not Midwestern meaty like Amy Beth of the Fat Squirrel, which you should totally be watching that podcast if you're not. Fat Squirrel Speaks. Anyways, so I knit the armhole for the size up. That will get me the right circumference. So there's that, and I did that twice even. So once I was done with the sleeves, I jumped right in, and I'm sorry it's still on the needles. I am mid-row. Maybe I should finish my row. Well, no, I could show you what I want to show you like this. So I jumped in mid-row and started working on the back. Like, you can't sit in front of me right now, baby. Say hello, say goodbye. Okay. So I started working on the back. First error, and this is amazing, so let me tell you, I don't typically like it when people point out their errors in their knitting, but there are 2 glaringly obvious errors in this that I noticed when I was almost 2 inches along, and I was able to let it go. That is a huge milestone for me. I cannot let things go. Usually I have to rip it back, and then I'm so frustrated and annoyed at wasted knitting that I don't finish. So I was able to look at this and say, yeah, no big deal. Oh, and I didn't tell you, this is Barocco Vintage in the red color, 5314, and that is a 50-40-10 acrylic wool nylon blend. And I'm knitting on US size 7's 4.5 millimeter needles. So, cast on for the back, and I don't know if you can see it. Here, let me show you, right there. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I should have started with a wrong side row and instead started with a right side row, so I have purl bumps on the face of my garment on the knit columns on the front. Does that make sense? So the first row I have purl bumps, and then it turns into stockinette stitch, the knit part. So I wish that hadn't happened, but at least it's the back. I know to watch for it next time. It won't happen again. I didn't do it on the sleeves. Not really sure what I was thinking. If I remember right, I was sitting outside and it was very early in the morning when I cast that on. So then I get going and I realize I have no idea how to knit through the back loop. and these stitches just look so wonky, right? I was knitting through the back loop on the front and untwisting them on the back with my purl stitch, so they look like regular stockinette. So I did some YouTube viewing, couldn't figure it out. No one was saying you have to do anything funny with your purl, so I started twisting it one way. Nope, that wasn't it. Twisting it the other way. Oh, that looked okay. Do it for another 2 rows. That looks right. And so I hit it spot on by about here. I got my knit through the back loops right. So I had a good inch of just trial and error, and so those stitches are all like whoop, 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 left, right. They're like out of control. Some are straight, some are not. I was twisting one way and yeah, so I let it go. I said, you know what, that's going to be right over my butt. Who's going to be looking that closely at my butt that understands knitting? So I continued on, and I made my adjustments to the waist shaping as I need to for myself. I did, so here's the stitch pattern. If I pull it out, I hope you can see the ribs a little better. So it has this really cool rib, big fat ribs and then twisted ribs, twisted knit stitches through the back loops. This is a free pattern, the Jackaroo, Jackroo. It's a free pattern on knitting. I think it's first fall 2013, like it just came out. So I am forging ahead into new ground. So I'm really liking the way that works. That's coming out. I've passed the armhole, so you can see that's where I started my armhole shaping. I like to set myself knitting goals. So last night I was like, I got home, we played as a family, Roland went to bed, and I looked at Steve. I said, Steve, I figured out how long it takes me to knit a row, to knit an inch. Okay, I need to knit for 2.5 hours tonight, and then I will be able to show them a finished back panel. I didn't do that. I knit for like 1.5 hours, and my needle was annoying this part of my hand, and I stopped. So by the end of today, I will have a finished back panel, and then it'll be 2/3 done, and it'll be onto the front, and I'm at, not even at the 2-week mark, so I'm so excited. I'm rushing this sweater because I want to get it finished for Stash Dash. So, So here's what I just want to answer, because I have been asked a few times, oh, and I'm in the perfect spot. Oh, it's serendipity. So you knit through the back loop, you know how that works. Here I am. I'm lined up to go into the purl stitch, and normally I go straight in. What I'm going to do is go in from the left side. I don't know if this is right or not, but this is the way I made it work. Go in from the left side of the loop, so it's really twisted, and then just purl like I normally would. Okay, so no, I did not find any video tutorials out there on how to do this, but yeah, so let me just say that one more time for anyone that needs help on this. You knit through the back loop as you would on the front, and then when you're purling on the reverse side, go in here, even I'll turn it so maybe you can see, we'll see if the camera cooperates. Go in through the left side of the needle. Of the loop, sorry, going through the left side way over. And that for me is making my stitches pop. It's making me say, why don't I put through the back loop stitches on the cuffs of all my socks? Like, I really like how much it tightens up those stitches and how neat and tidy it looks. So I am recommending that. Once the back is done, obviously, I'm going to go on to the fronts. I'm nervous. So I took the Fit to Flatter, Knit to Flatter class on Craftsy. Loved it, loved it, loved it, as I've said before. But I am knitting a sweater about 4 inches smaller than I normally would knit, and I'm getting nervous. Looking at this back panel, I want it fitted, but I'm getting worried about the belly region because of the waist shaping. Like, I know I can make myself look like I have shapes through the shaping, but I don't, and I'm really just square. Like, I have hips and a bust, but in the middle, I'm square. And so I'm kind of nervous that it's going to be too tight around my midsection, and that's not going to be flattering. And so I'm going to knit the fronts, here comes Linus again, of a size up. We'll see if that works out for me. I'm very hopeful. She did say you could do that. So we're going to give it a try, and if it doesn't work, then I know that this sweater, what the bust measurement was that I knit for, and so I'll know if next time I go down or up, and It's just, I think it's a matter of knowing how to manipulate the pieces, the construction of the sweater, and getting it right. So if this isn't my most perfect sweater ever, the next one will be, because I'm going to do another pieced sweater construction that I'm able to manipulate the waist shaping to get it to fit right and get the shoulders right on it and the right sleeve length, and it's going to be gorgeous. I think part of the problem with my Dark and Stormy sweater is that it's just so much extra fabric up in the chest, in the arms, in this part, in the depth of the, actually in right here, like it's really bulky when I wear it, and I don't want it to be, and I might knit it again once I figure this out, what my measurement should be, and tweak it, because that is a gorgeous sweater. So I think that's all I have to say about the Jackaroo, the Snowball Bunnies by Susan Colladino. I have been working on those, and I got the glue gun yesterday. So now that I have the glue gun, I can finish my assembly and sort of run downhill with it. I am doing Stash Dash. I know it was a crazy last minute decision, and so I'm trying to knit this big project and get some serious yardage in on that before the end of the month. I'd like to finish this by the end of the month, and I'd like to finish my the socks I'm currently knitting, and that should get me pretty close to my Stash Dash number. So the Snowball Bunnies aren't really helping with that, and the assembly takes up a lot of my knitting time, so they are not hibernating, they are not forgotten, they are just put off for a little bit of time. Caution socks. I'm not sure. It's been 10 days. That's enough time for me to have quite a bit of progress to show you. But again, I've been crazy sweater knitting lately. And so these really haven't been my main focus. I've been trying to get other things off the needles. So in a continuation of what I talked about last time, that I wanted to cast on a hitchhiker with this yarn. I still want to cast on a hitchhiker with this yarn, but I'm making myself finish those explicit dishcloths before I do that, because, you know, knitting is fun for me, but I can get out of control with the cast on and the startitis and the knitting polygamy. So like, all right, let's finish those so that I don't have to look at them, because it was a bad decision. And I asked Steve to help me so that I don't fall down this hole again and go buy big box store cotton. I don't like knitting with cotton. I have some in the stash. I don't need to buy cotton yarn stash. And so I asked him for help, and he was so funny. He was like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you knitting with that?" And he just started razzing me really, really bad, like in a serious fake way. And like, "Don't you have really nice yarn? Wouldn't you rather be knitting with that? Oh my God, I can't believe you totally Valley Girl." It was hilarious. And it kind of did make me feel bad and make me say, okay, I won't buy, I promise, Dad, I won't buy that yarn again. So I don't think this has moved forward any, but this is the first one of my caution socks. And this is Inspiration Dye Works Fluffy Plus, which is an 80/20 wool nylon base, very soft, very big. I went on about them last time, so there's the second one. I am experimenting with my rib sequence, my toe cast on, and my needle size to try and get a better fit. I'm not liking the fit of my socks lately. My knitting has evolved, and my formula for the perfect sock is no longer working, so I'm trying to tweak it a little bit, because I think I'm becoming a tighter knitter, or I'm knitting with finer yarns. I don't know. It's just, no, I'm not knitting with finer yarns. It's just, they're just not turning out the way I'd like them to. So, but I'll tell you, the little tiny stitches of a US size 1 2.25 millimeter needle is a nice break from the US 7s of the sweater, like being able to go back and forth. Because I don't know, does it happen to anyone else that larger needles rub and hurt your finger at that spot, at that joint? I don't know why. Is it because I've used short, like 5-inch tips before, and that usually rubs in here, and I'm falling off the tips, and so it irritates me. But I didn't think those were short. I thought those were 6 or 7. They're my Knit Picks interchangeables, and I think they're like 7-inch tips. I could probably measure and know. Okay. What do you... No, that doesn't look that long. It really doesn't. I know, you really wanted to watch me measure how long my tips are. Well, it's irritating to the tip of my hand. Oh my goodness, they're 4.5 inches, and I bet if I go all the way to the end where the cord is, they're 5 inches. Answer my own question, that's why they're bothering me. I know I need 6 or 7 inch tips. It's the join that's rubbing right there. Thank you for helping me figure that out. Dishcloths. So yeah, like I said, I've been pushing myself to knit these ridiculous things and weave in some ends. And if you watch, they just keep coming. The dishcloths, they are everywhere. Oh my God, there are so many dishcloths. How can this be? I have 9 done. This is the last time you're going to see or hear about them until the next time I go crazy. But hopefully my crazy will just involve me going out to the garage to the cotton bin and pulling out some stashed cotton instead of buying 5 skeins and saying, oh, I love these. I really do love this color. I don't know how long you've been watching, but if you remember, or I think it's still on the iTunes badge, but that swirly image I have, I love this color, the navy, the purple, and the bright teal together. I think those are beautiful. So that's why I bought them. Yeah, and that is Moon Dance by Lily's Sugar and Cream. Knit on, what size? US size 6 4.0mm needles. So those are my grandmother's favorite dishcloths. That's the pattern I'm working on there. Wow, I am busting things and I don't always deliver. But I was talking with Avocado Sheep. I mismentioned her last time. I'm sorry about that. And we were discussing the sprout blanket and that, yes, let's get my butt in gear on that. So I'm showing it to you where it is right now in an effort to, well, I've shown it to you before, so here it is. It really is only just the border. Wow. Okay, so that's all I have done. I'm using Barocco Chunky, Vintage Chunky, in the color Kiwi, which is, I have the information. I will share it with you. 6124, in case you too like this color and would like to buy some neon green for a baby blanket. And I'm using US 8 5mm needles. So I cast this blanket on. I was looking at my projects page. 7/4/2011. So 2 years ago, the same day I cast on this blanket that I cast on that sweater this year. I was pregnant at the time and I had already knit him one sprout blanket in teal and wanted to do another more gender neutral one. We were friends then. I know. You could go back and watch the episode in which I cast this on. How do you use that? It's so weird. Anyways, so I really do love this pattern and I just need to get back into it. So I'm not saying you'll see it next time, but I am saying it's coming. And it's coming for the baby blanket cowl. So I don't know if I will have a July blanket to contribute to the cowl. I might, probably not. No, let's be honest. No, I'm going to finish that sweater and then I think the socks, because that's another big chunk of knitting. And then I'm going to move on to this, which is in my really, really cute bag. Oh my God, who made this? I special ordered it. Bird leg bags. There we go. Bird leg bags. It's campers, RVs and such. And it has a little raccoon on the tab. I love it. It's a huge bag. It's a perfect size sweater bag. So, just thought I'd share that. Yeah. What else do I have to tell you? Page 2. Here we go. Oh, and if you're knitting a baby blanket, the July prize drawing is that skein of Hiawassee Creek. I showed it last time. It's a purple pink sparkle stripe yarn. It's beautiful. Fingering weight though. So that's the prize for the month of July. Every blanket you've knit over May, June, July that you put in there, so up to 3 entries. Doesn't matter if you finished it in May, you could finish 3 blankets in July and post all 3 as 3 different entries, and that would get you 3 entries into the prize drawing. I think, what was it last time? Here comes Linus again. Man, he wants attention. I think we're at like 20, just shy of 20 blankets, so your odds are very good. So, that said, I did get some new yarn this week that I would like to share with you. I ordered this loveliness. I watched Lisa Beamer, Fibronym Dye Works. I watched 90% Knitting. That's another podcast I love. And this is her Sunshine base in the Pulse Gradient. So I really loved This just was screaming shawl, and it had to come home with me. So this is 100% superwash, 490 yards, fingering weight, machine wash, air dry. This impressed me. So, and I got that for a measly $28, and it was here 2 days later. I know. I know. I mean, I know we're on the same coast for each other, but crazy. I also ordered some more of the Panoply of Peacocks, Alicia Goes Around yarn from the Loopy U, so that I would have the yarn to knit the Bonnie, because that is still competing with the hitchhiker in my head. I'm like half done the Bonnie in my head. No, but that might be my perfect sweater, because the pattern itself, I believe, is, well, I don't want to give anything away. It will be easy for me to manipulate waist decreases and increases into that. And yeah, so that's that. What else do I have to say? Anyone want to knit a Bonnie with me? No, don't distract me. Don't hold out prizes and treats until after July, when I can have this sweater done and feel really great about that and invigorated. I think that's it. I did promise to talk to you about the new podcast I'm watching, Extreme Close Up. Yes, because I am a watching podcast type of girl. So, oh, and there probably isn't going to be any roll-in video this week, so I'll just show you this picture off my phone. Is that not the cutest? Okay, sorry. Proud mommy moment. I know, yours is cute too, but yours isn't mine. If you sent me a picture of yours, I would show it and say, see how cute your kid is? Because I'm sure they're very cute too. No, some of the new podcasts I've been listening to, obviously Mustache with Steph and Stacy. That's great. Snappy Stitches. Oh my God, did I talk about this yet? I used to listen to the Manic Pearl like 09 when I started listening to podcasts at work. No, before that. It was 07 when I listened to podcasts. Anyway, she was one of my favorites. I loved her. And I also was intrigued by the fact that she ripped out so much of what she knit. Like, that is so foreign to my brain. Like I said, I'll throw the project down rather than rip it out. So imagine my surprise when I turned on, I was like, oh, let me try this new podcast. And I put it on the TV, and the voice was familiar, really familiar. And so then I had to go look her up. Chrissy the Great from Manic Pearl started a video podcast called Snappy Stitches. It's great. I'm working my way through her backlog. Her episodes tend to run about 20 minutes, so it's not a big time commitment. I can watch like 4 of them in one sitting. It's great. I love it. Also, yarn raising. Everybody knows about Malia Rhymes with Maria. She's just a wealth of knowledge, and it's fun to listen to someone that really knows that much about a topic I don't even care that much about. I'm not a spinner. Spinning doesn't really interest me, but she finds a way to make it interesting. I know. And she's had a very exciting life living all over the place, so that intrigues me a bit too. What else? We Are Yarn is another one I've been listening to. She's a southern gal with a really cute little accent, so she's fun to listen to. Knitting Go is Rye Crafty up in Calgary, Canada. She reminds me very much of Paula of the Knitting Pipeline, like that very reserved, no, like, I want to say no coffee, like the opposite of me. Doesn't get like, yeah, crazy excited. It's just like very mellow, but she knits amazing lace work. Amazing. So, what else have I been listening to? Oh, Fibertown. She's super sweet. She has a cute dog named Alice. She is in Boston, I believe, or somewhere around there, so she kind of rolls with my sentiments. And then, yeah, I think that's it. That's new for me. Wolf Farms, I come and I go for them. So I'm on a Wolf Farms kick right now, so I'm enjoying catching back up with them. So that's it. I mean, it's summertime, and I am just burning through podcasts. I don't know what you do. I find with my own podcast, watching my viewer numbers, that it tends to decrease in the summer because people are busy doing things. But I think the extended hours of daylight, I am up at 5 and I'm going to bed at 10:30 or 11, and there's a lot of time there on the ends to fill with podcasts. So that's what I've been doing lately. And talking really fast. Oh, and we watched the movie Pitch Perfect. I have family visiting, and my cousin, I graduated, my cousin, she wanted to watch it, and I was like, oh my God, I will never watch one of these high school you know, drama. I don't know. It just seemed young to me. It wasn't my typical movie choice. So good. If you like Glee, any of those musical type shows, you will love this. It was great. Lots of good covers of 80s music and some new music covered. Very good. Very, very good. Very fun to watch. So I very much recommend Pitch Perfect. And that's where I'm going to leave it. I'll talk to you in about 10 days or so. Enjoy your knitting. Take care. Thank you so much. Let's talk over on the Rav boards. I love knowing what's going on with you. Oh, I was thinking, so you know how I'm going to add something. I'm going to add an element. So you know how Stephen of Dramatic Knits has Race to the Finished Object, and 90% Knitting has post your, one of her patterns, one of her designated patterns, post the finished object in there. Lots of people have these finished object encouragement threads. I would like to see what you're working on, what you are most excited to work on. So I'm going to open a prize thread. We're going to do this once a month for a drawing. That's going to be what's going on in your knitting world. So just post once a month your favorite project that you're working on this month. So there. Tell me what's going on in your knitting world, and take care until we talk again. I'll miss you. Goodbye.